Democrat Whip.
Mr. President, the U.S. continues to face a host of serious challenges around the world that demand serious leaders. This is recognized by members of both political parties where country rises above party politics. In fact, over the last 3 decades alone, every single Senate-confirmed Secretary of Defense but one has received broad bipartisan support. So I'd like to take a moment to share my reservations about the nomination of Pete Hegseth to serve as our next Secretary of Defense. From the outset, he has failed to position himself as someone with a strategic plan to face the threats of our nation, to equip our warfighters with the technologies of the future, or to support them and their families with the benefits they've earned and deserve. Aside from serving in the National Guard for some years, Mr. Hegseth lacks the necessary qualifications to lead the Department of Defense. Imagine the size of that responsibility. More than 3.5 million service members and civilian employees, a budget of $900 billion a year, and hundreds of thousands of platforms and assets. He has, over the years, and even during his confirmation hearing, disparaged women serving in the military and questioned their right to adequate health care. He advocated for pardons for war criminals and questioned the rules of engagement that are designed to protect civilians from harm, and he exhibited a stunning lack of basic knowledge on the threats our country faces. This is to say nothing of the numerous troubling personal allegations against him relating to the use of alcohol, personal misconduct, financial mismanagement, and more, all of which raises questions about his fitness and vulnerability to serve in this high position. This is an unusual situation. I would say the Armed Services Committee and the Department of Defense are two of the most bipartisan efforts I've seen in my time in Washington. It is customary to have both political parties in lockstep together, working for the defense of this nation as they should. But for some reason, Mr. Hegseth has decided that he would break with tradition and not meet with the Democratic members of the Armed Services Committee, aside from the ranking member, Jack Reed, of the state of Rhode Island. That is unfortunate. The bipartisanship should be honored, even if it's difficult and challenging. Unfortunately, Mr. Hegseth did not agree with that position. It is for these reasons that every Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee voted against advancing his nomination, and I will oppose him on the floor.